ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste, my dear friends. This is second video on Muktika Upanishad. This video starts with second section, Dvitiya Khand, invocation of Shanti mantras. At Hanam Ramchandram Maruti Prapachah. Then Maruti asked Sri Ramachandra thus. Rigvedadi Vibhagain Prathyak Shanti Mano Brohati. Please tell me the Shanti mantras of different Vedas, Rig Veda, etc. separately. Sa Hovach Sri Ramah. Atre Kausikina Bindu Prabodhan Nirvan Mulakshan Malika Tripura Saubhagya Brihichana Rigvedak Tanam Das Sankhyan Upanishads Bang Me Man Siti Shantihi. Sri Ramachandra then said, the Atreya, the Kaustiki, Brahma, the Nadabindu, the Atam, Bodha, the Nirvana, the Mudgala, the Akshan Malika, the Tripura, the Saubhagya Lakshmi, and the Bahuricha. These 10 Upanishads forming part of the Rig Veda have the following Shanti mantra. May my speech be based on mind. The Ishvarasya, the Brihadarnika, the Jabala, the Hansa, the Pramhansa, the Subala, the Mantrika, the Niralamba, the Trisikhi Brahma, the Mandala Brahma, Brahmana, the Advaita Tarka, the Pangala, the Bhikshu, the Turyatita, the Adhyatma, the Tarsara, the Yajna Valkya, the Satyayani, and the Muktika. These 19 Upanishads forming part of the Shukla Yajurveda have this Shanti mantra. That Supreme Brahman is infinite. This qualified Brahman is infinite. The Kaivalya, the Taitiriya, the Brahma, the Kaivalya, the Svetasara, the Garbha, the Narayana, the Amrita Bindu, the Amritnad, the Kalam Rudra, the Aksuririka, the Sarvasara, the Shukra Rahasya, the Tejo Bindu, the Dhyan Bindu, the Brahma Vidya, the Yoga Tattva, the Dakshina Murti, the Sakanda, the Saririka, the Yoga Shikha, the Ekasara, the Akshi, the Katha Rudra, the Rudra Hridaya, the Yoga Kundalini, the Pancham Brahma, the Prana Agnihotra, the Vraha, the Kali Sansantarana, Saraswati Rahasya. These 32 Upanishads forming part of the Krishna Yajurveda have this Shanti mantra. May Brahma protect us, both the teacher and disciple. Stanza 4. The Kena, the Chandogaya, the Aruni, the Maitriyani, the Maitriya, the Vaj Suchika, the Yoga Sundramani, the Vasudeva, the Maha, the Sansya, the Avyaktuka, Kundika, the Savitri, the Rudraksha, the Jabala, Darshan, and the Jabali. These 16 Upanishads forming part of the Samveda have the following Shanti mantra. May my limbs, speech, vital force, eyes, ears, strength, and all organs grow vigorous. Stanza 5. The Prashna, the Mundaka, the Manduke, the Atrav Sirira, the Atrav Sikha, the Brajabala, Narsimhan Pani, Narda Privrajaka, the Sita, the Sarbha, the Mahanarayana, the Rama Rahasya, the Ramtapini, the Sandile, the Pramhansa Saruprivrajaka, the Annapurna, the Surya and Atma, the Atma, the Pashupata, the Brahma, the Tripurtpani, the Devi, the Bhavana, the Bhasan Jabala, the Ganpati, and Mahavakya, the Gopalatpini, the Krishna, the Hayagriva, the Dattatreya, and the Garuda. These 31 Upanishads forming part of the Atharva Veda have the following Shanti mantra. May we hear auspicious words with the ears. Stanza 6. Those people who are seekers of liberation and endowed with the four virtues, viz. Sama, Dama, Uparti, and Titiksha, should approach in traditional manner with gifts in the hands a spiritual teacher who is faithful, belonging to a noble clan, well versed in the Vedas, follower of the sacred text, not a heterodox, engaged in the welfare of all, full of compassion, and learn these 108 Upanishads in a traditional manner through continuous listening, reflection, and deep meditation. Then, upon effacement of all accumulated actions of the three bodies are destroyed, and a non-qualified state of perfection called Videha Mukti is attained, like the space in an earthen pot, which is non-different from the space outside. This indeed is Kaivalya Mukti, or absolute liberation. When the cause is removed, the effect also becomes non-existent. Here, accumulated actions are the cause of the embodied state, which is an effect. Knowledge of the Upanishads destroy this false identification of the soul, and it no longer identifies itself with the three bodies, which gross, subtle, and causal. In reality, knowledge does not destroy these three bodies, but because of non-identification with these three bodies, the soul is said to be in a disembodied state. A Videha Mukta also dwells in the body, but he is not identified with it. Because of want of any desire, the subtle body which is responsible for rebirth is said to be non-existent. Stanza 7. At-ev brahmlokastha api brahmmukhadve antarsarvanadi kritva ten sah kevalyam labhante. अतः सर्वेषां केवल्य मुक्ति ज्ञान मार्गे मात्रेणोक्ता न कर्म सांख्य योगोपासनादि to Upnishad. Similarly, even in the Brahmloka, the soul's apparently plural sense is used attain videha kevalam, disembodied state, only after hearing the knowledge of these Upanishads from his Brahma's mouth. Therefore, for everyone, Kaivalya Mukti is stated to be attainable through the path of knowledge alone, not through karma, rituals, Sankhya, Yoga, or worship. This is the Upanishad. People follow various paths to attain liberation. Some follow ritualistic philosophy of Purva Mimamsa. It has been very well proved that these rituals grant only heavenly pleasures and not immortality. There are some who believe in Sankhya philosophy, which does not accept any conscious being, Ishvara, as the cause of the creation, and affirms that both the souls, Purusha, and nature, Prakriti, are eternal. The Sankhya maintains that this knowledge of Purusha and Prakriti leads to liberation. We will have to go beyond this philosophy because it teaches plurality of souls and the eternal nature of three gunas, qualities. The followers of yoga philosophy hold that self-control, meditation, and samadhi will lead to Kaivalya. This philosophy is similar to Sankhya, except that it believes in Ishvara as the cause of the universe. This is also a dualistic philosophy and not a perfect system for attaining Kaivalya Mukti. It has already been mentioned that worship of a personal god grants only Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sayujya Mukti and not Kaivalya. This Salokya makes it very clear that the intuitive knowledge of the Upanishads alone grants absolute liberation. The Shruti also says that by knowing immortal here in this very body, there is no other path. Jnane pantha anyaya vidyate. Even in the Brahmaloka, absolute liberation is attained only after intuitively realizing the knowledge of the Upanishads. Iti Prathamo Adhyaya. Thus ends the first chapter of section 2. Divityo Adhyaya, chapter 2. Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Stanza 1. तथा हैनम श्री रामचंद्र मारुति प्रपच्छ केयम जन जीवन मुक्ति विधि मुक्ति किम वा तत्र प्रमाणम कथम वा तत्सिद्धि सिद्धया व किम प्रयोजनमिति स होवाच श्रीरामः पुरुषस्य कर्तव्य भोक्तृ सुख दुखादि लक्षणिश्च धर्मः कलेश रूपत्वाद्धौ भवति तन्निरोधनं जीवन मुक्ति उपाधि विनिर्घटा आकाशवत् प्रारब्ध अक्षया देहे मुक्ति जीवन मुक्ति विदे मुक्तयोर्ष्टो सतोपनिषद प्रमाणम कृतृत्वादि दुख निवृत्ति द्वारा नित्य आनंद वाप्ति प्रयोजनम भवति तत्पुरुष पर्यतन साधम भवति यथा पुत्र कामेष्टिना पुत्रम वाणिज्यदिना वित्तम ज्योतिष्ठो मेन सर्वम तथा पुरुष पर्यतन साध्वी वेदांत श्रवण आदि जनित समाधिना जीवन मुक्ति आदि लाभो भवति सर्ववासना अक्षय यत् लाभ है. Then Maruti asked Sri Ramachandra, what is this Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti? What is its proof? How is it attained? What is its aim? Sri Rama said, for a man there is bondage due to doership and enjoyership, please and pain, etc., pleasure and pain, etc., causing afflictions to chitta dharma, cessation of that is Jivan Mukti. Videha Mukti is a non-qualified state, unbound by body, similar to the space in a jar, unbound by its shape, arising after destruction of prarabdha, etc. The 108 Upanishads are the proof for Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. The aim is to attain eternal bliss by eliminating the sorrow arising due to doership, etc. This is attained through personal effort, just as a son is begot through putra, kameshti, sacrifice, wealth by trade, etc., and heaven by Jostoma, sacrifice. Similarly, Jivan Mukti, etc., is attained through Samadhi, which arises due to personal effort involving listening, reflection, and meditation, etc., of Vedanta. The result of this mukti is destruction of all vasanas, latent impressions, or cravings. Jivan Mukti is a state in which the soul constantly delights in the self, disappoints in the self, and performs works for the sake of the self alone. The Upanishads are the authority in describing the state of Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. The Chandogya Upanishad says that the one who is established in the self goes beyond all sorrows. Tarti Shokamva Vit. The Muktika Upanishad, chapter 3, part 1, stanza 4 says that such a one is foremost among the knowers of Brahma. Atam Creed Atam Rati Kriyavanais Brahm Vidam Varishtah. True Chitta Dharma is to reflect on the self and inculcate the feeling that I am the self. But because of ignorance, the feeling of doership binds it and causes innumerable afflictions. Through vigorous personal effort, one can make the chitta free from all these afflictions. Then chitta dharma becomes natural. Our personal effort should be directed to acquire this chitta dharma. The next few verses mention about the attainment of this chitta dharma through personal effort. Necessity of personal effort. Atra shloka bhavanti. Here are these verses. First shloka. Uchhastram shastrim cheti purusham divividyam matam tatrochhastre manarthaya paramarthaya shastritam. Personal effort is said to be twofold, which one that is enjoined by the Shastras, sacred scriptures, and the other which is prohibited. Misfortune results from those prohibited by the Shastra, and the highest state liberation accrues from those prescribed by the Shastras. The aim of all the Shastras is Atam Niveshanam, Atma Anveshan, to investigate and to reveal the true nature of the self. The injunction of such Shastras are indispensable in our personal effort. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, stanza 23 also says thus: Ye Shastra Vidhi Mutisirjay Vartati Kam Karatah Ne se Siddhim Van Pranoti Ne Sukham Ne Param Gatim. Ignoring the precept of the scriptures, he who acts under the impulsive force of lust, he does not attain perfection, happiness, or the supreme goal. But following the injunctions of the Shastras alone will not lead to the highest goal. The true import of the injunctions of the Shastras is effacement of latent impressions of vasanas and dissolution of mind, manonasha, which makes the aspirant competent for the self-knowledge. The injunctions of the Shastras yield only limited results and are useful till one attains steadfastness in the self-knowledge. When one has attained steadfastness in self-knowledge, the injunctions of the Shastras become superfluous. The Lord also says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, stanza number 46, thus, Yavanarthe udpane sarvatah sampul uddake tavan sarvesu vedesu brahmanasya vijanatah. To the Brahmana who has known the self, all the Vedas are as much useful as the water in a pond when there is a flood everywhere. Thus, the next verse shows the futility of extreme passion for injunction of the Shastras. Log Vasnaya Janto. This is stanza number 2. लोक वासनया जंतुः शास्त्र वासनया अपि च देह वासनया ज्ञानम यथा वन्नैव जायते. True knowledge does not arise in one due to latent worldly bodily impressions and also because of too much passion for the scriptures. Lokavasana consists of the tendency to run after world or society for name, fame, position, etc. Dehavasana is the tendency to covet a faultless body through various means like rituals, cosmetics, herbs, and various recipes of hygienic food. Shastra Vasana involves scholarship in various branches of knowledge like code of rituals, material science, arts, music, astrology, astronomy, etc. Such scholars struggle hard to acquire a sharp intelligence, a sweet voice, the art of oration, and various other skills which will help them to earn their livelihood. These are said to be obstacles in self-knowledge. Stanza 3. Divividho vasna vihu subhascha va subhascha se vasno ghen shuddhen tatra chedanu niyase takrimanasu tainev mamkam padamma punuhi. The whole realm of vasanas is of two kinds, which good and evil. Of the two, if you are led by the good, then gradually in that manner, independent of any other effort, you will attain my state. Good vasana is the desire to be free from the worldly bondage, giving up all false impressions related to the body like caste, clan, lineage, physical characteristics, etc., world social status, profession, name, fame, etc., and Shastra's scholarship in various branches of knowledge, desire to worship personal deity through various rituals, etc., and inculcating the feeling that I am Brahma is said to be the good Vasana. All other Vasanas like Loka Vasana, Shastra Vasana, and Deha Vasana are said to be bad. Prompted by the good Vasana, a person makes a vigorous effort to know the self, to efface the latent impressions, and for the dissolution of the mind. This type of personal effort leads to Jivan Mukti. Everyone is subjected to the impressions of past actions. Therefore, the next verse shows the necessity of personal effort to eliminate these impressions. Verse number 4. Ath ched shubho bhavasatvam योजयति संकटे प्राक्तन सद्दशौ यत्ना जेतव्यो भवता कपि. But if the evil propensities, impressions are leading you towards difficulties, then you must overcome them with effort. The Shastras show the efficacy of personal effort in overcoming the evil propensities. Many rituals have been enjoined by the Shastras for the effacement of sins committed by us in our daily lives. These rites check the evil propensities and thus save the person from evil consequences. The mind should be made tranquil with the help of these anti evil rites enjoined by the Shastras. The next two verses bring out the necessity of personal effort in making the mind disciplined. Stanza number 5. Shobha Shobhabhyam Margambhyam Vahanti Vasanasrit Purushen Paryaten Yojniya Shubhe Pathi. Stanza 6. Ashubhesu Samavishtam Subhe Vesu Vavatrayet. The latent impressions like rivers flow through good and evil courses through personal effort. It should be directed towards the good path. If the mind is attached to evil, then bring it on the good path. Stanza number 7. Asubha chalitam yati subham tasmad pitaram tah purushen paryaten lalachyati balkam. The mind resorts to good when withdrawn from evil. The mind, which is like a child, should be disciplined through personal effort. Stanza number 8. Dvaghavashadyati yada te vasanodayam tadabhyasasya safalyam vidhi taumarimardan. When through practice good impressions soon arise in the mind, then it is the positive result of your, O destroyer of the enemy's repeated efforts. One should not doubt if the mind is tamed soon after spiritual practices. Quick success may come because of the result of the repeated efforts in many previous births. However, if Siddhi is attained soon through spiritual practices like Japa Yoga, Raja Yoga, etc., one should continue to engage oneself in acquiring good impressions. The next verse justifies such practice because it is harmless in nature. Stanza 9. Sandigdayam api भ्रीशं शुभामेव समाचर शुभायाम वासना व्यर्थो ne dosaye mrutsut. Even if there is a doubt about the possibility of quick results, engage yourself in acquiring good impressions, O Maruti. There is no harm whatsoever in the growth of good impressions. Triple means for Jivan Mukti. The next few verses lay down the essential conditions for the attainment of Jivan Mukti. There are three means prescribed in the various Upanishads which are the mutual cause of one another. These three means are knowledge of truth, tattva jnana, effacement of latent impressions, vasana aksha, and dissolution of the mind, manonasha. By the practice of these three means, all the fetters of the heart are shattered. This leads to Jivan Mukti. Stanza number 10. Vasana akshay vigyan manonasha mahamati samkalam chirabhyashata bhavanti falda mataha. O wise one, when effacement of latent impressions, awakening of knowledge, and the annihilation of the mind are practiced simultaneously for a long time, then it yields the intended results. Vij Jivan Mukti Tremeti Samam Yavanyabhistasche Punah Punah Tavanne Pad Sampranti Bhavatyapi Samashatai. This is stanza number 11. Until these three means are repeatedly practiced together, that state of Jivan Mukti is not attained even after 100 years. Stanza 12. Ekaikasho nisevente yedete chiram palyam tanne siddhim prapanchanti mantra sankiranta eve. Stanza 12. If practiced individually, one at a time, with strenuous effort, even for a long time, they do not yield the requisite result, just as the mantras chanted incoherently do not produce the desired results. These three means are mutually related to one another. True knowledge can dawn only when all impressions of world, body, and scriptures have been eliminated. Effacement of impressions is incomplete till mind is dissolved. Again, dissolution of mind is impossible till all impressions are destroyed. True knowledge alone can efface all the false impressions. Thus, these three means have cyclic relationships as cause and effect. This makes it very difficult to accomplish perfection in these three means, and it requires persistent effort. Stanza number 13. त्रिभिरितेश्चाभ्य हृदयग्रन्थयो दृढा निशङ्कमेव त्रुटियन्ति विशिष्टाद्गुणा इव. Through ceaseless practice of these three means, the fetters of heart are definitely shattered, just as the lotus fiber in its stem then cut. Stanza number 14. जन्मांतर शताभ्यस्ता मिथ्या संसार वासना सा चिराभ्य संयोगेन बिना ने अक्षयते कंचित. The false worldly impressions accumulated over 100 births cannot be destroyed without continuous practice. Stanza 15. तस्मात् सौम्ये पर्यतेन परुषेण विवेकिना भोगिच्छां दुरस्त्यक्त्वा त्रिमेव समाश्रय. Therefore, O noble one, a discriminating person firmly gives up the desire of enjoyment from a safe distance through self-effort and practices these three. Worldly impressions are never uprooted through self-indulgence. Self-restraint is the only way for effacement of impressions and dissolution of the mind. The Manusmriti also says that impressions, desires are never quenched through enjoyment. It only increases the cravings, just as fire grows more when ghee, clarified butter, is poured into it. This Upanishad categorically refutes the common belief of modern psychologists and many medical doctors that self-restraint leads to physical and mental disorder. The Upanishad exhorts the aspirant to renounce all the desires and be liberated in life. Effacement of latent impressions, desires. Stanza number 16. तस्माद्वासनया युक्तं मनो बध्यं विदुर्बुधा सम्यक् वासनया त्यक्तं मुक्तिमित्याभिधीयते. मनो निर्वासन भी वमाचराशो महाकपि. Therefore, the wise perceive the mind under bondage due to desires, impressions. It is considered to be liberated when free from desire entirely. O Hanuman, strive to attain impressions-free mind. Stanza number 17. Samyag alochnath satyad vasana parviliyate vasana vilye chetah samya yati deepavatah. Desires, impressions get obliterated by discerning the truth absolutely. The desires being effaced without a trace, the mind gets extinguished like a lamp without oil. Stanza number 18. Vasnam sampritajya mai chinmatra vigrehe yastishtati gatvigraha soham sachit sukhatmakah. He who by giving up the desires entirely meditates on my transcendental form free from agitations, he is one with my self-being awareness and bliss. Stanza number 19. Samadhi mat karmani ma karotu karotu va hridayanath sarveho mukte evottmashah. That noble soul who is bereft of desires in the heart is indeed liberated, whether he performs or does not perform meditation or rituals. Neskarmen ne tasyarthe satya shyartho asti ne karam bhi ne samadhan japyabhyam yasya nirvasanam manah. He whose mind is desireless has no necessity to perform actions or refrain from actions, nor he has any need of meditation or japa, mental repetition of sacred mystical formula. Stanza 21. Vicharit malam shastram chirmudgrahitam mith Satya Vaktavasnam Nadrite Nastu Uttam Padam. The essence of all scriptural deliberation and synthesis of all diverse views is that there is no higher state than the state of a sage who has renounced all desires. Stanza 22. वासनाहीनमप्य अक्षुरादि इंद्रिय शब्दः परवर्तते बहि स्वार्थे वासना नात्र कारणम. Even though desireless, these sense organs like eye, etc., function instinctively amidst external objects. Desire is not the cause of such activities of the sense organs. Thus, for a sage whose mind is desireless, sense organs continue to function as normal and the body does not become lifeless. His mind ceases from all activities and attains a state of inaction, but not the sense organs. Stanza 23. Ayatnopan vakshi दग्द्रव्येषु यथा पुनः निरागमेव पतति तद्वत् कार्येषु धीरधिः. Just as the eyes fall voluntarily without attachment on the approaching objects on the horizon for showing the way, so the mind of wise man functions in everyday life voluntarily without attachment to the world. The desireless mind of the wise person ever remains tranquil in spite of performing everyday activities for the sustenance of life. He engages himself in selfless activities, but he is not afflicted by the plight of the people to the least extent because of the absence of any attachment to the world. Stanza 24. भाव संवित प्रकटिता अनुरूपां च मारुते चित्सयो उपरमां वासनां मुनियो विदु. O Maruti, the sages know about the other creation of the mind due to desire which is manifested by the consciousness. Stanza 25. दृढ़ अभ्यस्ते पदार्थकं भावना दत्ति चंचलम चित्तं संजायते जन्म जरा मरण कारणम. Intense thought, desire of objects makes the mind wavering. Agitation, literal meaning growth of the mind causes birth, old age and death. Stanza 26. वासना वेशतः प्राण स्पंदन तेन च वासना क्रियते चीद बीजस्य तेन बीजाडकुर्करम. Because of desires, impressions, there is pulsation of prana, life force, and by pulsation of prana arises desires, impressions like seed and sprout series. Stanza 27. द्वे बीजे चित्त वृक्षस्य प्राण स्पंदन वासने एकस्मिश्च तयो अक्षिणे अक्षिप्रम द्वे अपि नश्यतः. Life force and desires are the two seeds for the mind tree. By the destruction of either, both are destroyed simultaneously. The yoga psychology states that when there is pulsation of prana, prana spanda, there is movement of mind, chitta, vritti, and craving for sense objects, vasana. Laya yoga aims at dissolution of mind by restraining the prana in Sushumna Nadi. According to this Upanishad, these three have cyclic relationships as cause and effect. Stanza number 28. असंग व्यवहारत्वा भवान वर्जनात् शरीर नाश दर्शिताद् वासना ने परवर्तते. वासना संप्रति त्याग चित्तम गच्छत्या चित्तताम. Desires, impressions do not arise by leading a simple life with detached behavior, keeping away from worldly thoughts and knowing the mortal nature of the body. By renunciation of desires, mind becomes no mind. The Annapurna Upanishad also says that by renunciation of all desires, the mind becomes no mind. Stanza 29. Evasantvat satatam yadane manute manah amansata tadodeti parmospas. When the mind does not function due to the state of desirelessness, then the state of no mind arises, which confirms supreme peace. Stanza number 30. Avyutpannamana yavat vyagyatatvatpadah guru shastra parmanestu ninitam tavdacharam. As long as the mind is not fully evolved and that supreme state, identity of self and Brahma is not yet realized, practice what has been laid down by the teacher, scripture, and other valid means of knowledge. Stanza number 31. ततः पक्काशेयेण नूनं विज्ञात वस्तुना शुभोपेस्यो तव त्याजो वासनोघो निरोधिना. When all the worldly attachments are burnt and ultimate reality is directly realized, then you should give up entire lot of desires, even the good ones, for mind restraint. The Vedanta philosophy lays a great emphasis on renunciation of all desires for perfect mind restraint. It is the belief of common people that a person is an atheist if he does not worship or praise God. But the Vedanta philosophy says that a person is an atheist if he does not renounce desire, even if he worships thousands of gods and goddesses external to one's own self. So at this stage I conclude this video. Thank you for watching this video. Next video will be on the dissolution of mind, section 2. Thank you for watching this video. Namaskar.